just yet. I could be lying on the internet there. Not that anyone would do that intentionally, of course, ever. Uh, but the take is here is something a little interesting, right? I mean, I think we could have that discussion maybe a little bit later once we see how Pilot wants to play this. But again, I'm a little disappointed in Liberty only because, look, I love the Cassante for Makes because he's clearly unbelievably comfortable on that champion. He's the poster child for the mechanically gifted talent that we've got coming up through the CBLOL Academy. I dare say this is the best year for first years in the CBLOL since definitely the time that we've been covering it, since franchising, since 2021.
Yes.
We've not seen such a strong crop of rookies come through. Makes is one of the poster children for that, a front runner for Rookie of the Year for sure. But Axe, with the rest of the bot lane bans coming through here, I'm not seeing something that, look, once this game goes into the late game for both these teams, which is, like you said, kind of how these comps are trending, is we're going to decide this in the 5v5. Loud's going to win that. I'm sorry, right? If you're Liberty, you are opting into something that, for me, how it seems anyway, you're opting into death by 1,000 cuts, and you're going to show up to a team that has won 3 CBLOL titles on the bounce when you are just a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds. You're not setting yourself up for success here. It's not that they can't do it. I don't think they're just giving themselves a good shot to.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, you got solid picks, right? Azir and Cassante, they got good numbers, but I need killers, right? I don't need numbers. I need killers to come through. Give me some demon picks, something that's going to tear through Loud, and we don't see that yet. I hope it's not Tank Azir. I know why it's good. I know why people are playing it. I hope we get high damage, high octane pilots shredding people in this game, but we'll have to see. On the flip side, Loud, kind of the same problem, right? This is probably the first high damage champion we actually see come through on this Varus. Everybody else is support staff, which makes me think, holy cow, is this the reckoning for Makes? Is this where Robo locks in the Olaf and the last final pick of this draft and just goes on a tear against the Academy top laner? I don't know. It's gonna be tough for him here. Sivir gonna be hovered for Mikau. Smolder perhaps coming through. There we go for Mikau. Yeah. Really good stuff there. And finally, it'll be a jungle pick. Once again, we got some killers in Smolder. I need one more pick for this Liberty draft to really round out.
I think you go Lee Sin here because I think that's the only way you can kind of get to the late game with some sort of skirmisher. We've seen Lee Sin come back into the meta here. Drake Hero, he's had his ups and his downs, right? Liberty, they've had their moments here. Okay, so it's going to be Viego. I still don't see anything you can really do pre-6, but at level 6, that's what we're watching for, Axeman, is at level 6, Drake Hero has to command things, right? And he's not necessarily the one that's been calling the shots, right? It's been a little more Pilot. It's been Mikau kind of from the back, the 4-time CBLOL champion, saying, all right, dance, monkeys, dance, right? Like, go, my little children, and wreak your havoc. Now it's Drake Hero's turn to make something happen. They're leaving R5 here for Robo. Oh my God, it's actually Garen. Holy sh!
What? No way.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we knew it had to be something big from Loud for them to leave this Robo final pick up all the way to the end of the draft, and it'll be Garen through here for him. What would Garen even build? I'm thinking like last season, like phase rush type thing. You're trying to go hard in and
Triforce, maybe? I don't know. I'm scrambling here.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of tunneler items, whatever it is, but holy cow, Robo Garen, first pick of the split for the Garen. Might have been the first, we might have to go back a couple years for the last Garen pick in the CBLOL.
Well, at least, look, I'm glad that Loud have at least drafted themselves some Engage, because sometimes that could be the difficulty for a Garen composition, is sometimes you get a little short-sighted and think, oh, well, Garen's a tank, therefore we can fight front to back. Yeah, sure, you could fight front to back. You've got, a Bruiser, a lowercase T tank. You've got the Sejuani, you've got the Leona. But at least Loud drafted themselves Engage, right? And they've got Croc to push that button and be the, be the fire starter there. For Liberty, Mikau, on another late game champion. He played the Sivir last time around. He had himself probably his best game in my opinion, his best game in years on the Smolder last weekend. But this champion, look, is still really, really tough to make things go right. You have to have a bridge into the late game. And again, Loud with Root and Redbird, I'd be curious to see what Root ends up going as far as the build is concerned, right? Do they go for something a little more lane dominant, try to press their advantage that way and not even allow Liberty to play the game come 20-25 minutes when their comp gets online? Or do they just say, no, we're just gonna hands check you and we're gonna play a little more of the on-hit style, although there aren't many tanks to go into. Axe, I'm rambling a lot here. I'm not giving you my best segue here. This is bad play-by-play right now. I'm not setting you up for success right now. But I guess
it's all good. It's all good.
What are you seeing for Liberty? What in your opinion has to go right? I kind of outlined my game plan of, look, Drake Hero has to be that bridge right into the late game, because the late game it's a bit of a Thanos comp, right? Once you get to 25 minutes, Liberty's comp is going to be gigantic, but they have to get there.
It is. They do have to get there, and you said what has to go right for Liberty. The answer for Liberty always is positioning. It's just Mikau being in the right place, right? Pilot getting the right play that so many other mid laners on champions like Azir, champions like Corki are able to make happen. For Liberty, it does happen. They do get those set pieces out, but when things go a little bit awry, when it requires a little bit more improvisation, a little bit more adaptation, Liberty start to falter where other teams do not. What has to go right for Liberty? They just got to do the right thing at the right time, and it's easier said than done.
Redbird and Root already making their presences felt. Yeah, I really think it's going to come down to Drake Hero, right? And what you can do, and I think it's tough, especially because you've drafted yourselves 2 lanes that early on are not the strongest, right? Azir doesn't have the best lane anymore, I should say. He is going, and even less so because he's going this fleet footwork build, right? Which is this fleet. We have to differentiate now, folks. This is where we are. This is the normal Azir build. You can see in theory that he's going to go more towards that late game style. But part of what makes the grass build so good is you heal, I think 7% of your max health, just something absurd every time you get a grass proc off, right? So it just allows that lane to be a little more sustainable, so that when you have that level 6, when you have that all-in threat, you take it on much more equal footing. Makes as well. Before 6, he's not going to have a good time. That is not Kasante's strength. But once that hits,
Absolutely
then
not.
Pilot and Makes are going to be in a little better position to help Drake Hero out.
Yeah, and we brought up the win cons for Liberty so far. The loud win conditions are fairly obvious. I mean, you just execute on being better players, right? I mean, you win big in lane. Essentially every part of the game, you just try to be a little bit ahead. And then closing out is probably the hardest part here for Loud. But the real win condition is the X factor in the top lane. The guy that we were looking on our screen just a few seconds ago, it's Robo, right? What can he do in K'Sante that so many other players haven't been able to do on the Rumble, on the Renekton, on the Gwen? And we're seeing that a little bit already. You mentioned pre-6. I think Robo on Garen has a much better pre-6 into this K'Sante than most other matchups. I think the silence is really nice for him. Slows down the roll a little bit on the K'Sante combos that we're so used to seeing build up, even in this early game pre-6 environment. And yeah, I mean, he's just got a little bit more veterancy, I think, is the obvious point as well.
Azir pretty mobile, so burning that flash on the Azir, if you are able to, really, really big. Croc showing up, trying to get a little something there out of Pilot should he step forward. He's a little low on mana, so going to have to play this game a little more, this lane a little more respectfully against the veteran, the 5-time champion, Tin owns. 3 championships with Loud, 1 with Kaboom back in 2014 when he was just 17 years old, and 1 with, of course, Pain Gaming. Root and Redbird taking it right to Cavallo. He's going to eat the Ignite. Mikau, a little low on mana, but can still deal out the auto attacks. Root making it hurt with the hail of arrows. Still a little low on mana. Redbird not giving up on this trade quite yet, but Mikau and Cavallo playing respectfully close to tower.
This Leona Nautilus matchup can be fairly interesting. If you're both of these support tanks, you have to be careful about where you engage. If you're Nautilus, you're pulling the enemy engage tank in towards your carry to engage, which could be very dangerous in and of itself. But if you're Redbird on this Leona and you try to hook in onto Nautilus, he can hook backwards onto a wall and drag you under turn, which is really unfortunate. So you want to make sure you're getting that line on the enemy carry. Make sure you're engaging on the proper targets. Very, very difficult, as both tanks will be making sure to stand in front of their carries. Topside, things are getting worse for Makes. Man, oh man, the health bars are not looking good for Y4, and the CS numbers starting to separate a little bit here as well. Mid lane, Tin owns is looking good. He's got the range over Pilot. Just giving him the CS numbers there. Drake Hero just keeps walking over wards, man. It's the 3rd or 4th time this has happened. It'll be the fight in the bot lane.
And good on Root and Redbird as Root dumping auto attacks into Cavallo. Drake Hero, what will start off as an offensive gank is going to be defensive. Cavallo taking the meaty flash over the wall. Croc, Ultic Assault over. Drake Hero waiting in the wings. They're not going to attempt this dive. Croc in the right place at the right time, but just not enough. But that'll be enough to secure the first dragon, or at least give Loud an opening, should they choose to do so.
The rare fight where the Nautilus actually survives here, right? We don't see that one too often. It was very close. I think Root almost got that one down, but a nice clutch flash over the wall. Counter yank comes through from Croc. Nice positioning there from the Sejuani. And yeah, Drake Hero unfortunately just walks over the vision again. Isn't able to get into the proper position, and things kind of fizzle out for Liberty one more time. It'll be the fight over the grubs where I really think we start to see these two teams divide 4x4. I really need to see the Sejuani move up into the top side and start to control that area. I don't really want to see Croc play around dragons. I think I'd like to see him fight for the grubs.
And if nothing else, maybe just take advantage of the fact that, well, I mean, now a little irrelevant, but makes pre-level 6, right, not nearly as strong at all out is what makes Cassante such an incredible duelist. And Robo, look, my guy took Flash Ignite, right? He's here to play for the lane and play to get these solo kills, but makes, with that TP, was able to come back with a little more tempo. So he's on a couple of items. Redbird and Croc going to play around this dragon, though. But if nothing else, Axe, taking advantage of the tempo and of the, oh my goodness, what's hello?
Priority?
Thank you. Jeez
yeah,
Louise. Oh my goodness.
Wow,
Robo getting dragged over the wall. Has to flash away. Dragon goes down. Drake Hero, nice work. Making a play on the opposite side, being proactive. But Robo, look, that flash burned. That's big. Garen is mobile-ish, but that flash is a huge escape for him.
Yeah, it's really big there. And Drake Hero finally not caught out on vision either. It's a nice move. They're going to lose the dragon for it. They won't get anything but Robo's flash in return. Meanwhile, bonsai, Cavallo, Mikau, they're in danger. Croc series got.
They're trying to thin out the wave. Here comes Tinones as well, trying to provide some backup. Redbird going to take a tower shot and ignite in the first blood. Actually goes to Cavallo. Traded back there onto Root. Much more valuable. Tinones doesn't have the shockwave, but doesn't matter. Root with 2. Loud on the board. A double kill going over to the Varus early.
Nice rotation there from Tinones. He's on top of the ball. Gonna throw that ball into the face of Liberty there as well. Yeah, Cavallo gets the first blood on this play. It's actually equalizing quite a bit for Liberty. Watch this replay come through. Croc does not have 6. He's gonna step up. No tank available. Redbird's gonna take the aggro and he'll go down to Cavallo. That ignite coming through. Clutch for Liberty. Mikau dying eventually to the Varus arrow, and Tinon's able to take up the tank up the turret shots. Ooh, makes. He's 1v2.
How did Redbird get up to the top lane so quick? Immediate rotation there by the Loud support. Backed and went right into a lane. And again, created some space, created some priority. Yes, Croc is standing on a scuttle crab right now, but maybe looking for a dive on the top side. He wants these grubs to be completely uncontested. He's trying to shove Makes completely out of this lane. But Drake Hero, again, you see good responsive jungling here from the young rookie jungler here from Liberty, making plays happen on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, he's making something happen. He's got the invade going. The CS numbers are really nice from him, which I think is okay.
Yeah.
There's a kind of a hook into the wall there from Cavallo. Root's going to actually flash forward with the ultimate.
He goes in immediately there. Mikau calls in his mom, but that does absolutely nothing. Mikau's just dead to rights. Stepped up a little too far forward. Nice juke. Cavallo going to take a couple autos. Root playing like a man possessed. Pilot reaching, maybe. Thought about it in that bottom lane. Had the flash, had the ultimate. But I think it was a bit of a sunk cost fallacy. Look, don't go in. Pilot looking for the ult there, but Croc beautifully uses the unstoppable with the Arctic Assault. I don't know if that was actually on purpose. I don't know if he actually saw the animation come through and then timed it, but I think the point still stands. He knew he was going to get ulted back when he got EQ'd in on and used the Arctic Assault perfectly to get out of dodge.
Certainly. He's just untouchable, right? Croc's been to Worlds, twice now? He knows all the tricks. He's not going to get caught out that easily. This brings me back to my earlier point, though. Drake Hero, we see him in the enemy jungle. He's building up this big CS lead. Croc potentially with the ult. Not going to find it. Drake Hero, yeah, he's in the enemy jungle. He's building up a CS lead. I can't tell you how often in Season 14 4x4 I've seen a jungler build a CS lead by invading and just lose the game. It's not an efficient way to use your time. I mean, it builds up the CS numbers nicely and it looks good on a stat line, but I look at everything Sejuani has built on the opposite end by not taking these camps, right? Huge control in the bottom lane, dragon control. Croc even had control of the top side, didn't end up using that to take the grubs down, made a play around mid lane instead. But it almost seems like if you're invading, you're losing 4x4.
Well, it's certainly, yeah, I mean, it's certainly not as kind of linear, I think, as it's sort of like what you were saying, right? Just because you are invading doesn't mean you are necessarily making progress. A Drake Hero, again, just as a Viego, we're getting to that 10-minute mark, and you still see goose eggs on the scoreboard next to your name. It's still 0-0-0. That's not what you like to see. But look, he's keeping himself ahead. He's keeping himself, if nothing else, on EXP terms, equal with Croc. That's something, but to your point, it's not as much as you would like to see, especially on something like a Viego, that once it can get snowballing, you need it to get snowballing, right? You're starting to bleed some gold out. You made some oopsies in the bottom lane, and Loud, they're just going to skill check you once the game gets later on, even though your comp scales like crazy. It's Liberty roster, man. 5-6. They are spicy. If you would have told me they'd be 5-6 at this point at the start of the split, I would have had a tough time believing in you. Honestly, I would have been happy to have been wrong. But for them to be 500, fighting for a playoff spot here, that 6th spot, we talk about how that's very up for grabs. Red, look, they're only a game up on 6th. That 5th place spot could come down to the last day as well. And Liberty, one of many teams, Fluxu, Los Grandes, Furia even, they've still got an outside shot. Fluxu fighting for that last spot. A lot of phenomenal talent spearheading that movement to take that 6th spot and potentially improve split on split.
Definitely 4x4. I've been really proud of everything Liberty have been able to accomplish. Huge fan of them. Love shouting them out on Twitter and, of course, predicting them every week. It's been a lot of fun. Upsetting teams that a lot of folks wouldn't believe that we have a chance at here. It's going to be the second Dragon. This, I don't think, is going to be a big fighting point for either side. I think if you're a Drake hero, you're still trying to build up to a point where you can get these resets and these big team fights. You just don't have the damage for that quite yet. You got a tunneler in the inventory. Look, you're level 7, so you got the ult available. You got some stats there, but it's just not enough. So they're going to give up this second Dragon and potentially fight over that third one, 4x4. You see him invading once again, trying to build up the gold, trying to build up his own personal lead here that he can eventually turn into these big team fights. Because remember, you go back to draft when we were talking about, hey, Liberty, first 3 picks, good support staff, need the killers. Remember, Drake Hero is supposed to be the killer on this roster. He's got to get to a point where he can do the killing.
Redbird and Croc going to walk over a ward here. Oh, bug jump, triple ulti coming down. Piloto gets absolutely nothing, and Drake Hero just scared off the fight immediately. Pilot gets 100-0. He had the ultimate, it did absolutely nothing, punishing the flashless Azir. Loud strike in the mid lane, another kill for the bad thing. Akoiza Huing, they're coming back, Axe.
They really are. It's not looking too good for him. At least that kill goes down to Croc and doesn't provide Tinones with as much gold. But honestly, Croc with gold is not something anybody really wants if you're on the opposing team here. Mikau playing safely to his credit. Has only died twice in this lane. I think a lot of predictors, a lot of analysts probably put him over 2 deaths at 10 minutes out of this lane. So he's doing okay right now. But it's all that gold, 3 full kills en route. And he's starting to turn it into big items as well, 4x4. You don't want that if you're Liberty. Topside, we haven't talked about it too much. I think we promised post-6 action. It didn't really deliver on that 4x4. It seems like they've kind of slowed things down. We thought it'd be X Factor for Robo, but apparently a lot of the players on both teams are waiting for those late-game team fights to really pop off. Here's the replay. It's just a good shockwave, folks. I mean, Pilot calls his bluff, walks up onto the ball, and he pays for it. Unfortunately, he doesn't see that there's 2 loud members behind him. I think he was counting on shockwave a little bit too much there. Or on the shuffle there.
Yeah, and look, it worked on Tinones, but he had flash as well, right? And Pilot did not. The only thing he had to create the space was the Shurima shuffle. And like you said, it was just very well coordinated from Loud. All the attention, all the resources were paid on to Tinones. And the second that shuffle went down, Croc and Redbird pounced. Very nicely done. Yeah, the top laners, look, Robo, I don't know if it's this matchup. I don't know if it's kind of the minutia of the way he's playing his lane, but we've seen this dude go for solo kills, right? He's not short of aggression, especially on this Cassante. He knows his limits. He likes to fight. He knows that when he's going all out, he can really maneuver this champion better than most. But we haven't really seen much. Instead, it's Loud making the plays up towards the top side here. No grubs taken. Well, just 1 by Liberty, so cool, I guess. But still down a half item to Croc. And they're going to get first purchase here, are Loud onto this Herald. And all Makes can do is sit there and watch. Robo, he's got his Triforce. Nothing to fight over in the bottom lane, but that's where Robo's heading anyway. And now I think, Axe, we're going to see the lane start to rotate, right? Top and bottom lane, that's where the solo laners are going to go. And you're going to see Root. Look, he's not that poke Varus, but he could still delete a wave really, really quickly. And he's going to make sure that Mikau takes a really long time to get to that 225 stack mark. Herald goes down. Rock and company rotating immediately into the mid lane. This is a Loud that we know and love, Axe. They're all gas, no breaks.
Yeah, the macro's great so far. They haven't really flubbed too many plays. I think Redbird went down to Cavallo early on would be the only really flub they've made so far. Certainly the only death on the team. And, an early death to a Nautilus, not the worst thing in the world. Tino's up top side could be in danger. See if Makes can get onto him here. I think this is a tough pickup for the Casanti. Be honest, you don't have tracking on a Croc either. You have to play this one out a little bit slower. Meanwhile, Loud continue to just soak up all of the gold from the map. You can see Croc finally starting to speed up the clear a little bit here, is catching up with Drake Hero. They're picking up waves in the mid lane as well. Robo pushing in that side lane. Meanwhile, Liberty getting basically nothing out of Summoner's Rift.
Well, and Tinones, I mean, just incredibly aggressive play, given the fact that, look, he doesn't have Sorc Shoes, he's got Lucidity Boots. He doesn't have a Seraphs, he's got an Archangels, right? This is a relatively weak point in the game for Tinones, and he didn't even have the ultimate, right? He blew it on Gromp or something, according to the chat. I didn't even see where that was going. Hang on a second here. We got to fight. Cavallo, Redbird, what are you doing in there, big guy? Liberty punish, a bit of an overstay from Redbird. Tinones was around, but I don't think he had any intention of coming and saving Redbird. The tower does go down, though. But going back to kind of what you're saying earlier, like, Tinones, that's the one thing. K'Sante can do a lot, but what he can't do is fight against range carries. Like, not really. Right? Tinones is still really, really strong, and Tinones did a great job of kiting him. There was no hesitation. When he saw Makes come out of that brush, he said, oh, I can make you pay, actually. He took half his health, Axe. That's a tank.
Yeah, he did. No, he absolutely did. Tons of damage. You got lots of range, and like you said, tough to keep up with the range carries. Orianna with the movement speed buff built in there, too. Really hard to track down, so not a winning focus. The last 2 minutes or so, Loud have picked up 2 turrets. They dropped the death for Redbird, but honestly, what are we talking about, folks? I mean, Pilot burned ult for that kill. It'll be the fight.
He's not going to have it here. Root goes in with the Chains of Corruption, excuse me. Redbird going to pick up the kill. 2 ultimates coming down on top. Sejuani blows hers. Mom gets called in. Makes looking for the flank. This is where Liberty has an opportunity to go back in. Tinones puts the ball out. Has the shockwave up. Should anyone try to follow, Makes in. Tinones playing bodyguard with that hugely impactful ultimate. Drake Hero's pretty low. Again, just 0-0-1 in this game. Not a super impactful Viego performance. Loud. Looked like they're going to walk away with their 3rd dragon of the game uncontested. Yeah. And they're just, Pilot just says, all right, I'll just TP into the top lane. I'm going to work on this tower.
Yeah. He's going to work on something with his 1 melee minion there. Maybe not get too much for that teleport, but kind of a frustration teleport, if anything. Remember, this was supposed to be the part of the game where Liberty start to fight, where they get Drake Hero those resets in these big team fights. And where they finally lay down the damage. Mikau says, hey, I'm not ready for that, right? We still got to continue scaling. At some point here, 4x4, it's going to get to a point in the game where we're saying, Liberty, what are we waiting for exactly? What scaling marks are we looking for? There was no big spike at 6 from Drake Hero, no big spike at 11 for Pilot. Is it just level 16 for Mikau that we're looking for? And is that even possible?
He's only got 135 stacks. There's a break point beforehand, and I confess I don't know exactly how it works. There's a break point beforehand where getting additional stacks gets a lot easier. I think it's 150. We can layer on the stacks a lot quicker, but I'm not 100% sure. There making the most of that demolish proc. And yeah, I mean, I think kind of to go back to this Drake Hero Viego point. I mean, again, this isn't about necessarily assigning blame to one spot or another. Pilot certainly scared Tinones a little bit there. Didn't have any mana, but Tinones didn't blow the flash. Good veteran move there. Didn't panic. There just weren't any kind of... It didn't feel like there were dance partners, really, for Drake Hero, right? If he wanted to take a skirmish, who was going to come in to help him? It wasn't Smolder. It wasn't the Azir. Makes now in some trouble here. The rest of Loud showing up. Redbird waiting out the abilities. Very nicely done, making it very easy to land. Wow. All out means no resistances. And Robo dunks the justice of Demacia in the face of the Herald of Nazuma. Not my best lore reference, but look, that's okay. Loud going to make an advantage in the long lane, and now they are ready to pounce. This could get ugly, Axe, and Cavallo immediately realizes it, tries to hook back, flashes away, eats the glacial prison, Drake Hero, Cavallo, max range hook, Croc dashes forward. Redbird's got the solar flare again, didn't use it in the bottom lane, didn't need to, and now he's got it for a much better use. Kill over to Root, kill over to Tinones. Loud extend their lead up to 3,000 gold. They are dominating right now, Axe.
Ooh, 4x4. Loud have been looking for that Drake Hero kill, and they finally get it in the top side river. They needed to slow down that Viego if they really wanted to shut out Liberty, and now they absolutely will. The 4K gold differential finally meaning something as they slow that advance from the Viego. There won't be a level 11 power spike for him here. There won't be a big team fight, no big resets either. We're back in a position we feel very, let's say, familiar with, looking for a miracle for Liberty.
Yep, especially against a team like Loud. Look, Loud, you could say what you want about them. And this season, we have seen some sloppy early games. We have seen them play disrespectfully to teams below them. What we haven't really seen, though, is Loud throw games. Usually it's they're behind. They try to take aggressive plays to get back into the game. They don't work. They lose in 25 minutes. We saw that last week. when they went 0-2, losing to Kaboom, losing to Cade Stars. I think if the Kaboom lost more than the Cade Stars won, but that was kind of the overarching pattern of the Loud losses. Once they're ahead, especially against weaker opposition, right? If they don't just sack and int that early game against weaker opposition, they don't give it away. That's not really something that Loud do.
Yeah, fairly consistent in that regard. So it'll be another fight between these two top laners. This one should go for K'Sante. I think Robo's just been getting kind of lucky, I think, getting some support from his team where it counts. I think Makes does win this one most of the time there, but it'll be the Flash or Robo, and now fighting back up topside. Really got to play for Vision. I think that's been the missing piece for Drake Hero so far this game. For Liberty, really, is just control of the Vision game. He's walked over so many wards, had to push through so many channels on Vision, and it's really just taken some of the luster out of the Viego pick, right? You're supposed to be showing up, supposed to be invisible, and then the big ult comes over the top, and you start getting the resets, but it's not been possible. They've seen him coming every time. The CC comes out, and there's nothing really possible for Liberty at that point. But they got a pretty good setup, I would say, 4x4. This might be the best position they've been in so far.
Well, they've got to make something happen here, right? And again, in a straight-up 5v5, you still like what this composition, in theory, could do. Once Mikau hits that 225 stack mark, once that second item comes in for Pilot, excuse me, then maybe you look to fight. But Loud says, look, we're not going to let you get to that opportunity. We're already at 2 items for Robo and Tinones. Yeah. We're already at an item and a half for Croc, right? Or an item and 2/3, right? We want to take these fights right now. We're at two items for Root. We are not going to wait. And so they posture around Baron. They're happy to sack that dragon, right? They don't bother putting the Vision down there because they go, look, you got to take that dragon. That's okay. Croc going in immediately, double ults over the top, makes bodyguarding up front, but he goes all out and gets deleted. That is not how you're supposed to play K'Sante, my friend. 1 kill over to Loud. It's Robo spinning, and so far he's winning, to be fair. Doesn't look like they're getting much more as far as engage. Redbird over the top. Beautiful Hex Flash in with the Zenith Blade, but gets shoved out by Drake Hero. Loud moving towards that dragon. You don't need Vision when you know exactly where the enemy is and you're able to take them down. Do Liberty have the stones to trade for a Baron? I don't know if they've got the damage here, and Loud calling their bluff.
At some point they had to pull the trigger. This could be their moment. Drake Hero shredding down this Baron, but here's Loud in response. Redbird's going to look over the wall for some Vision. Tinones, Croc, Root, all here. Only Robo staying behind.
Croc looking for a way, and he doesn't have his ultimate. He does have Arctic Assault. He does have Flash. Makes his back. He's got the TP, and he's got the all-out. Kabbalah lands the hook there onto Redbird. The dragon goes down. Can Robo join the fight quick enough? He has no TP, remember. Makes bodyguarding away from Root. Mom gets called over the top. Now that's starting to do some significant damage. Makes, he's buying time, but stolen. Piloto, excuse me. He got the Baron. He stole it. Able to grab it from Loud, who I thought were going to take that Baron. But flashing over the wall is Drake Hero. Not going to get caught. The Pilot and Liberty able to grab themselves the Baron, and Root picking up the kill. But that's all they get, Axe.
That's all they get. They might not get away with their lives either here. Pilot in dire straits now. Mikau perhaps in more dire straits.
Yeah, Mikau is a dead duckling.
Yeah, super dead.
Chains of Corruption not going to land onto
Pilot's Drake Hero also makes it out here, too. He's going to step up bravely here. Remember, he needs the resets. He could get it off Croc if he plays his cards right. Pilot with the TP back in. They should look for this. This might be the best shot they get. Where's the shuffle, Pilot?
Yeah,
shuffle?
He doesn't have the shuffle. All he came back with was he just came back with the Leandries and blew the TP for that. That felt like a waste, right? It's like, what do you have, right? There is no flash. There is no shuffle. There's no way to start a fight there. That felt a little desperate. That didn't seem well thought out there by Liberty.
No, it doesn't. And you see the movement there, right? You see the reset from Croc, the big damage on the other members of Loud. It's all right there in your mind if you're Drake Hero, but he doesn't have a way in. I think he might have even been calling for the teleport from Pilot, maybe thinking they could make a play, but there's just nothing there. They don't have the resources, no summoners from either of them, no ultimate from Pilot, just the ultimate from Drake Hero up, and yeah, there's nothing really that they can do. That said, they get away with the buff. 2 of them have it up here, 4x4. Maybe, once again, in kind of a waning game for Liberty, perhaps the best position they're going to find themselves in for the next 10 minutes, right? It's only downhill from here. Maybe a little spike for them. Ultana makes. It's got to be. Oh, no, he's out.
Redbird gets the Solar Flare down. Croc in. Doesn't have the Glacial Prison. Used it earlier.
Pilot does not have teleport. He cannot join these fights. Liberty have to run away if they're caught. and really only can escape any kind of CC from Loud.
Yeah, Loud, they're just looking for a fight here. Robo's not in the fight, but Loud might be happy to take this one 4v4. Remember, Liberty do have the Baron buff, but it's really not all that much. It's technically a positive Baron power play, as you're seeing on the top left of your screen there, but only a few hundred gold. Pilot and Robo perfectly happy to push out their long lanes, and Loud, they know that they can still take this 5v5. Croc doesn't have the Glacial Prison yet, doesn't have the Flash, but they think they can take it on to Piloto. He doesn't have Flash, he does have the ultimate, but defending that long lane. Robo gonna rejoin the fight here, or at least he's making his way up there.
It's huge for Liberty here. It's the best position. Again, I felt like I've said this time a few times now, the best position they've been in 10 minutes. And yeah, they'll increase that gold lead to 1,200. Sorry, not gold lead, the power play to 1,200. Bring gold pretty back even, right? Just 2,000 gold between the two teams.
Yeah.
Liberty making a comeback, maybe?
Maybe? Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel that way, but the gold kind of says that it is, and that's the power of getting that Baron buff. They're able to artificially kind of regenerate some gold and give themselves a foothold back in this one. And remember, their composition, it does scale nicely. They can team fight actually okay. You've got, I mean, your front line is a bit of an assassin as well, right? I think if you want to fight straight up front to back, you would have liked something a little bit more bruisery, right? I mean, and you see Drake here, to be fair, he is going kind of a bruiser build, right? With the Sundered Sky, with the Black Cleaver. He's making it easier for Macau to shred. I think those auto attacks hit just a little bit harder for Pilot. You do get some physical damage out of that. But I still think, look, Loud, they've got an Infernal Soul, right? They don't have a ton of damage on their team, but that's going to be made up for with that Infernal Soul. And at the end of the day, Axe, I just trust this team more. Liberty, we've seen some mistakes and some misplays as far as the setup for some of these fights, right? The very desperate is the word I'm looking for, TPs.
Yeah.
That haven't given them opportunity to fight on equal footing.
Some shocking plays from Makes here. He's going to go all in. Wow. That's not a good play at all. Burning both ultimate and being in the death realm for 50 seconds. That's not good. He's going to have to... I mean, they give anything that spawns now, right?
Yep.
I think they'll be okay for Elder. They'll be okay for Baron. But just giving a map position and a bunch of gold that they had fought so hard to get back in. Here's a hot take 4x4 and for the folks at home. I don't think it's about the gold for Liberty. I think it's always been about the time. How much time they can waste, how much scaling they can get from Mikau, and how just hanging on, surviving in this game as well. I think if we get Mikau to a position where he gets those stacks that he needs for Smolder to be so good, I think it will be at least a small victory for Liberty, and certainly better than the alternative, right? Losing out at 25 minutes, which was the trajectory previously. This is a better place, a better way for them to fight, and even if it is eventually a loss, a better loss.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, those are the things that you can for sure count on, right? But the fact is, I mean, look, the gold's still only 2,000, but Loud, they are ahead just a little bit, right? They get that artificial power from the Infernal Soul, but the Elder Dragon coming up here, and Loud again. They're might be the second ones to the Baron or to the objective here, but they've got their river completely lit up. They've got Liberty's jungle completely lit up with vision. They're going to take this fight on their terms. Tinones TPing in. He's got a death cap axe. Here comes Pilot as well. That can complete the death cap. So again, one midler is going to be a little stronger than the other. You see that execute bar there, Smolder. He's got the opportunity here. He's got Mom in tow. He's got 225.
Would love level 16 for Mikau here. I don't think he's going to be able to get it.
No, I don't think so either. Pilot's level 16. Here comes the damage bar. That means we're ready to fight.
Flashes.
Robo just spinning in just so fast. The Shades of Corruption come down. Ultimate's into the back, and Robo actually gets taken down here by Pilot. The shutdown for him makes somehow survives. Big ultimate from Pilot. This might be a game turner. Mikau is just free firing. It's a shutdown onto the enemy AD carry. Redbird taken out. Croc running away. He gets hooked. It's a triple kill for Mikau. Smolder on the map. Liberty taking down Loud in this team fight. What can they get out of it?
They got the position in the mid lane. This could be the end of the game. They have to push hard, though. Harder than they ever pushed. Harder than they ever pushed in their academy careers. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we get Inhib turret into Inhib. They have to get on the Nexus turret. It's just 30 seconds here, 4x4. It's going to be so close. They have just the smallest wave. Makes is going to tank up the turret. As many shots as he can. Croc is going to try to stop.
Croc is being a nuisance, but Cavallo's just saying, look, you guys don't know. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win this.
They got it, baby. Yeah! Let's go!
Unbelievable. Loud, in control. for the whole game, and they are swarming Pilot right there.
Yeah.
They know exactly who won them this game. They know that it was the Azir with the big-time play, with the big-time shuffle.
Holy cow.
Just stunned are the defending champions. Liberty, they moved to 6-6 now. They are taking scalps off the league's best teams. Axe, take a victory lap, dog. I don't know how the hell this happened, but take your victory lap, brother.
So many desperate plays from Pilot, so many bad teleports, bad ults, bad positioning. It had to be the perfect thing at the perfect moment. And I know that's such a general thing to say, but now that it's happened, you understand what I mean, right? Like, you get what I mean? Liberty have it in them to make these plays. They always did. I knew they did because I see them do it. I see them get so close week after week. Oh my gosh, to watch them do it into Loud. Mikau finally gets that late game position where he can hard carry, and Pilot hits the God Shuffle. Yes! Yes! This is exactly what this team is capable of, and they could do anything. I believe in this team to the ends of time, man. Incredible performance.
Big-time players, it is said, make big-time plays. Liberty, they now take sole possession of that last playoff spot. They are 6-6. Luxo and Los Grandes, a game behind them at 5-7, and a game above them, Loud and Red are tied for 4th place at 7-5. Liberty crashing the party here, Axeman. And next up, we've got Furia versus Pain. But before we end here, unbelievable. Look, makes not a really great game by him. That was all Pilot, right? Pilot caught them and really made Robo pay for what was a very Robo play. Right? But that feels like a play you make on something like the Olaf, where you have the CC immunity, where you've got a bit of an oops button, right? Garen, you saw the way he was building, right? That Phantom Dancer and that Triforce, right? The Phantom Dancer especially, that is to run you down, right? That is to spin in and just be a nuisance. But there wasn't the initial follow-up there in that fight from Loud and Liberty. They played it patiently. They go, wait, Robo's inting here. Robo's just inting. Yeah. They killed him, and the Pilot's like, all right, here we go, boys. This is it, all or nothing. And unbelievable, man. Any final thoughts on this one, Axe?
Most of them, yeah, 3 thoughts. First, most of the members of Loud had not died before that fight. Thanks, Dad. Before that fight. Second, if Liberty don't end the game there, I don't think they can actually win. No. I don't think that fight is enough. I think they have to back. I think they have to fight again over Elder. I think the fight has a really good chance of not working, and they don't win. Yeah. And third, this is the best fight we have seen from Mikau in years. Give him his flowers. Holy cow. Triple kill? Come on.
That was unbelievable. Folks, might have a little more of that on the other side. Furia with a bit of a revamped roster. They've swapped out their Korean imports midway through the split. Destroy and Mir gone. 2 Academy imports in immediately. An all Brazilian, all very young team on deck, against Pain Gaming. The reigning 4-time second place team, and maybe the best team in Brazil right now, certainly the most consistent. We've got that one for you to round out the week when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Last game of the day. Furia versus Pain Gaming. Another potential upset on the cards, Axe. We've had a couple today.
Oh, yeah.
Luxu took down Kaboom. Your boys, Liberty, they did it. They did it against Loud. It was not a great game from them, but then at the right time, they pounced and they took down the reigning champions in a stunning upset. If you haven't seen the scenes post-game, look it up. CBLOL on Twitter. They're just jumping, tackling Macau, or tackling Pilot, rather. You tweeted it, Axe, man. This is what it's all about. Extremely cool from them. But we have another young team to talk about right now. Furia, another favorite of yours. Let's get those predictions up. I think I know what they're going to be like. Pain Gaming again, probably the most consistent team in the country right now, and voted for by everybody except for our prophet here, Axeman. All right, we're gonna do the same thing here again. Give me your case. Let's get that Furia roster on the board because we have a couple changes to talk about. But why don't you walk me through some of your rationale here? Shino, Steiner, Tuts, Ayu, and Zai. A lot of just very silly Brazilian IGNs here. But Ayu and Zai, they've been kind of heralded as the bot lane of the future. It hasn't gone great for them, but they've opted to swap out their Korean imports and go with an all-Brazilian team to try to recapture some of their former form. They're on a 5-game losing streak right now, Axe.
They are. We don't have a lot of time, so just going to talk quickly. This is my triple crown, right? I got Fluxu game 1. I got Liberty last game. If I can get this one, I don't know, man. I think I need to go to Vegas because I just have, like, precognition or something going on in my brain. But, yeah, so look, predicting upsets is the whole business, right? I mean, I'm printing money right now today. Yeah, you got to stay consistent if you want to win this way. But for Furia, I really do believe in this roster. I think I always have. Very similar to Liberty. They have an X factor built in. It's in the bot lane for Furia. It's Ayu and Zai. If they can get good champions, if they can get a good angle in the opposing bot lane, I think they can take down anybody. But it's not just about Furia. It's about Pain too. Pain and Loud both have dropped an incredible amount of games to lower tier teams so far in this split. If anything, it's a pretty good bet, no matter who the bottom tier, middle tier team is, to bet against Pain and Loud because they just dropped so many. However, this one is going to be la pièce de résistance, as they say, because it's the biggest disparity between two teams, right? Pain are 8-3. It's 3-8 for Furia, so it's going to be giant killing for Furia, 110%. Here's the roster from Pain. You already know them. It's Weiser top lane, Decado and Titan, of course, rounding out the carries. Curry and Karaoke helping out as well. Everybody on this roster is a veteran. Everybody's at the top of the table, especially Weiser in the top lane. It's going to have to be a miracle for Shino.
Yeah, well said. Let's get into the draft here. Mulder and Senna taken away. Lucian Casante taken away as well. And the Maokai banned out. Maokai is crazy strong. Do not give that over to Karaoke. He will tear you up with it. Now, I guess Maokai is a blue side ban. I don't know how I feel about it because that would mean that you have to have something really, really good in response. You have to have something really good for dinner because if you're on blue side, just pick it. It's B1able. The Hui is the hover here, and the Hui is the selection here for Tuts. Just 2 and 5 in the CBLOL this year is Hui.
Yeah, not super good, right? Kind of similar to Casante last split. We know it's a good champion. It can do a lot of things, very adaptable, but you got to have the right slots in the right places there, have the right ability at the correct time. And a lot of players just aren't ready for that. More likely to fall back onto the easy to pick up champions. You get Kalista coming through, it'll be a big support pick there as well. Important to note, Furia, they need weird bot laners to succeed. And Smolder has eaten up a ban here. That's going to be important moving forward. You got the Neela lined up. You got the Belveth and the tank Pike available for Zion. It's a huge one. All of that is available in these first 3 picks. We're going to see that in B2 and B3.
I really hope we see the Pike, unironically, because, I mean, I still doesn't change my line of thought even despite the result last game that if you're a team like Furia against a team like Pain, you got to take some big swings here. And you literally have Knight. He draws Pike bans almost all the time. So it's not like the Pike is just, oh, we're throwing something on the wall. Let's see what sticks. No, there is reason behind the thinking. There is a method to their madness here, and they've got back-to-back picks potentially to make something happen. Kaisa locked in here. I like that.
Kaisa.
Yep, give that to Ayu. It's a high-octane pick, something with a lot of skill expression. And Ayu, he's someone I absolutely trust to pilot it. He loves playing on the edge, similar to Titan, the new Pain Gaming AD carry.
Might not be Pike then if it's Kaisa.
Yeah, maybe not.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, and with some tank supports kind of coming back here. Maybe. Oh.
Ooh, never mind.
Okay. It will be.
There we go. Nice.
All right. And you see it right there? The words you see on your screen, dois vitórias, dois escolhas. That means 2 picks, 2 wins. Zai has played this twice, and he's won on it twice. So he is risking a 100% win rate on this pick here against the Giants, Pain Gaming.
I love it, man. There was a point last split where we were talking about MVP candidates towards the end of the split, who could still win it, and there was some locks, some real easy locks everybody was talking about. And I brought up this point, I was like, I bet Zai could still win it. People were like, what? Huh? I was like, yeah, he could get a pentakill every game, and he could get the MVP for sure. Bring Furia back into playoff contention, he could absolutely do it. And we're back at that point again here, actually, where it's kind of like, hey, I bet Zai could still do it on Pyke, and they're giving him Pyke. So who knows? Maybe he'll get it down. The Nautilus will be the lock-in here in combination with the Callista. Really high deaths, but if you're going to drop somebody in the middle of the enemy team, you might as well have 4 sources of CC to bring right along with them, and that's what the Nautilus brings to the table. Courier brings this one in. I will say the Nautilus into the Pyke, not very good, not super good. You don't want to lock up the Pyke, and the Pyke is super slippery here. Kai'Sa as well, very difficult to get on the hook. This is more of them just picking a set piece than anything else.
And still a solid enough lane. And look, you're relying more on Titan for me here, right? You're relying on him being able to jump around, stack up those spears, and make something happen. And Nautilus is incredible in the late game. The fact that you have point-and-click CC that could hit a couple of members, such easy ability to start a fight. Poppy going to be taken away here. I like the Poppy ban into something like the Callista and like the Azir with all those dashes, right? The Poppy is such a demon against those compositions, and they got a couple spots for Furia that they could put it into. You could put it top. You could put it in the jungle. Twisted Fate going to be banned away. Incredibly strong. We've seen it in leagues all over the world now. This isn't just an LEC special anymore. Saw it in the bot lane. I was doing some tier 3 in North America last night. We saw it in as an AD carry, and it is just demonic down there.
Yeah.
Gnar going to be locked or going to be banned here for Weiser. And again, we've seen that started to surge a little bit more. Weiser is very, very good on that pick. That was a bit of a pocket pick last year for him. Carioca going to be on the Lee Sin, though. 4-4 is Lee Sin's stats through 8 games here in the CBLOL.
Pretty good stuff there. And, yeah, if you're not playing ADTF in your solo queue games, I don't know what you're doing. Thing is just busted, but...
Make it happen.
We're getting the picks coming through now. Still need a jungler for Furia. It'll be Stinner. Shino picking up these final 2 picks. I like it. I like Maestro's look towards this. Look, hey, we're bringing these new players, but we're not going to just totally put them on the back burner, right? I mean, we're not going to just insta-lock them random champions. We got to believe in the players if we want to win, and that's what they're doing here. You get the Sejuani coming out 4th pick. The Aatrox hover for Shino, because once again, hey, it's Shino, Aatrox against Weiser, whatever. I'll take Weiser 100% of the time. That doesn't mean we just like put the guy on Poppy or something and leave him out in the cold. We have to give him a fighting chance, give him a chance to believe. And honestly, Weiser's drop games to Academy top laners so far this split. Why not give him something he can win on? Why not give him something that we can believe in? Yone going to be the pickup here for Weiser. Very dangerous for Furia.
Yeah, Yone on this Weiser on this Yone. He's gonna have the carry pants for sure. And in the mid game, this champion is going to be really tough to deal with into the late game as well. Axe, if you're thinking about this in terms of early, middle, and late game, I do like what Pain have cooked up here. You've got kind of very defined win conditions in each phase of the game. For Furia, look, I actually don't hate their composition. Look, I mean, the Pyke I think would be questionable for me if it wasn't Zai. Right, if it wasn't someone who could make things happen in the bottom lane. You saw him roam all over the place in his games on Pyke. He makes things happen all across the map, gets those early kills. It's just been translating into the mid and late game that have been a little bit tougher. But this is a composition that has a ton of range, a ton of mobility as well, a ton of CC, and you can team fight front to back pretty decently on it with a bruiser and a tank in your mid and top lanes. Axe, I think Furia, they've set themselves up here pretty well. Pain right now, I mean, well, for Furia, the stakes in a macro sense right now, you've got 3 wins and 8 losses right now. You're on a 5-game losing streak. This is a tough, now it's a crack in Pain Gaming, but this is kind of last chance saloon for you, right? The rest of the pack is starting to run away. Fluxu and Liberty, they picked up wins. Red, they righted the ship, but Loud started to falter a little bit. That 5th and 6th spot, very much up for grabs for Furia, but they've got to make it happen right here.
And that's exactly what it is, 4x4. Tough nut to crack versus professional nutcracker, who's been on a bit of a dour month so far for Furia. He's slipping up in the nut cracking, but we'll see if they're able to crack this nut coming up in just a little bit. I think the missing piece, the piece that has to go in correctly the first time into the puzzle, there's no way you can put it in wrong and hope to win here, is this Kai'Sa. It's got to fit perfectly. It's got to fit perfectly in there. It's got to be in the right place. at the right time, and it's all about the ultimate, right? All about where you choose to place that. But I think for here, when we were looking back at Liberty, it had to be the perfect positioning for Mikau, someone who's so well known for getting the positioning wrong. But for Furia, IU is known for the opposite, right? He's known for the X factor, known for being getting that perfect fight. And I think Furia can get it through here. They just have to weather the storm from Titan, have to weather the storm from Denkado. And of course, if you're Shino up at the top side, you knew it was coming. You got to not into Weiser 4 times in the first 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, Weiser, especially when he gets that first back, right, with a potential, like, a dagger and the Berserker's Greaves, a recurve bow in the Berserker's Greaves. That's a really, really tough spot to fight Weiser in. But problem is, he's probably going to have that by the time that you hit level 6 as the Aatrox. And that's another spike that you want to start fighting in. Pain Gaming trying to generate themselves a lead here early with some level 1 cheese potentially. Don't know if they have seen each other here, but they will drop a ward down. And for you, I don't think they spotted that either. Take a look at our predictions again on the bottom left. Axe is the lone believer. He was vindicated in game 3, or in game 4 last game. He was vindicated in game 1. And look, he certainly got a shot here to make up some ground in the predictions. But, and not a bad one either. Look, it's been a day of upsets here. The first 2 games of yesterday, it was Loud versus Pain. It was Kaboom versus Cade. They were the top 4 teams clashing with one another. It was a ton of fun. Now, here we go into another potential upset. Titan and Kuri, the hand-picked support. Titan, when he joined Pain Gaming this past offseason, he said, look, I played with Kuri for a few games on Red. I want this dude back. They looked like a completely different team when he was on that squad. But Kuri left after half a split. This is another T1 Academy product, is Kuri.
Certainly is. He's got a lot of weight behind him. Titan asked for him specifically. Moved from his position. Oh, big hook.
How did he hit that?
Did I hit that? It clipped through like 3 minions. I swear on my life. It went through 3 minions. Only I could hit that. No one else in the world could hit that.
Like, what the heck? That's not like
Weiser.
It looked like a Leona E that went through minions.
It looked impossible. Yeah, it looked so impossible. I'm still wondering if maybe Titan just didn't jump forward, so it looked like he got hit by the hook. I don't know. It could have been either of those things, but either way, it's going to be a little CS discrepancy between these 2 bot leaders for the time being. That's because IU is trying to get the wave to push into him. He doesn't want to be up in the lane. Karaoke has a really nice level 2 gank here, so they're going to let this push in. The CS will even out a little bit here as we look at this. This is just optimal positioning for the Kai'Sa and the Pyke. You want to be able to give yourself some room to both run down Titan and Curry level 3, and also to get away from this Lee Sin. You see that positioning from Karaoke now. This is great from Stinner, man. If they could pull this off on Weiser,
no, this would be huge.
It's officially cursed.
Weiser dashing through the minions. He does have flash, but no ultimate. Stacking up the stuns here. The permafrost is stacked. No return here. And first blood to Shino. TP in here. Now from Tuts. Warding off the dive. Kuri wanted it. Karaoke was ready for it. This is something we saw Loud try to pull off against their inferior, as far as the table is concerned, opposition as well. But how about Shino? Look, this is pretty point and click. This is pretty easily. Sejuani with a melee solo laner. It's about as easy as it gets, man.
It's so incredible for them to say, look, we know Lee Sin's coming down bot side. We know it's going to be 3v2. And to go, you know what? That's just on God. Leave IU and Zai. They're the guys we have to depend on. I'm going to go gank Weiser topside, and we're going to show this guy, you know what? I'm new to this league, but I'm not scared of you, buddy. We're going to take him down. Holy cow, level 3. I'm still reeling a little bit here. We got some feedback last game that I got maybe a little too loud, so I'm trying to stay chill for this one. But it's already so hard to stay cool when things like this are happening. Maybe these guys were in Academy last week, right? Now they're making these big plays on Weiser, number 1 in the league.
Weiser, a Korean player who has been in Brazil so long that after this split, he will no longer be considered an import. Just by the way, this is his 8th split, and he will not take up an import slot. Now, all that being said, you kind of wonder here for the future. It's like, oh great, Weiser doesn't take up an import spot a lot anymore. Heck yes. Are we really making changes though?
Yeah, really.
Like who do you swap out here, right? You gotta try to get one more Korean, and that means Karaoke, Denkado, and Titan are on the chopping block. I think between this split and next split, I'd be stunned if they made a move.
100%. Yeah, you think you got to keep the band together.
Yeah.
Certainly to try and keep Titan and Curry on the docket there as well. I think something I like about Brazilian teams is it's not always about filling out your quota of Korean imports.
Yeah.
There are some teams that will inevitably do that, but very fine to just take a full roster Brazilian talent as well.
Whoa!
And I think he got that grub.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, got the grub. Yeah, really
Very
nice
nicely
stuff
done.
there.
Got his first one and didn't even flash right back out.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. He just said, actually, this is my grub pit right now. So thank you very much for the leash. I'm going to grab a second one. And guess what? I'm going to grab this third one as well. Weiser coming down to help. He's got himself that dagger. So he's, he's got a little something, but Shino has come back with a pickaxe. Still definitely the stronger one in this lane. 3 grubs over to Carioca, though, and has made up some of that gold deficit back. And in fact, yeah, the game is tied as far as the gold is concerned right now.
There was always going to be some veterancy, I think, when we talk about the top side here. And I think Carioca shows that a little bit, but still not over for Shino and Stinner by any stretch of the imagination. They have the entire bot side to play for. We see the counter gank positioning from Stinner already down there on the Krugs. They're waiting for this Lee Sin. I think Carioca playing a little bit slower than Furia would have hoped for here. They're actually considering going in without, sorry, I'm slowing down because it's about to break out here.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Yeah, Carioca is here. Stinner's here, not on vision.
Zai tried the predictive hook there, goes in with the E Carioca. Didn't get much there. Remember, doesn't have the kick at level 6 just yet. W's over to Titan with a safeguard. Gets a shield down on a couple of his compatriots there. Dragon's still up here, and that's kind of what the priority is here. That's kind of what the priority there. I forgot the word again. Holy smokes, Axe. I'm not having a good day today, but that's okay.
No, we're doing great, dude. We're doing great. Given the circumstances, the upsets, I think we're having a really good day on CBLOL. Pain Gaming going to take down the bot side objective here as well. Second neutral objective for them. They get all 3 grubs, and they get the first dragon. A bit of a rarity considering the Sejuani on the opposite side. You kind of get your cake and eat it too if you're Pain. You got a nice skirmishing jungler and all the objectives, something that maybe you shouldn't be able to get. But to Stinner's credit, they still got that kill on Weiser topside, which maybe equals out, I think, a little bit. Getting that first blood on the star top laner, in my mind, 4x4, really does even a lot out. They might even have even more wiggle room, more things to give over to Pain Gaming. And certainly if you look at the gold, you look at the kills, I think I'm correct there. I think Furia still up in terms of how much they're getting out of Summoner's Rift. And still have quite a bit more to give here as well. In a good position, much better than most people would have said at 7 minutes.
Yep, and Zai roaming around the map. You see him there, perfectly happy to kind of that first or second recall as a support, right? You want to try to make something happen across the map. That's a pretty standard pro play and in higher level League of Legends, especially with something like a Nautilus, like a Pyke, where you can make things happen. You can serve as kind of a secondary jungler almost, right? And you just have such easy ability to start those fights. Why not look to make something happen? You're always kind of tracking the jungler, but the support, especially after a recall, can sometimes be a little tougher to track. So team's happy to take advantage of that. A couple of decent spikes here coming in here. Tuts, he's got himself the lost chapter. Trying to, again, potentially blow that flash onto Dinketo. This is a mobile, slippery champion this is here. You've got escapes. The lane, again, isn't as strong as it used to be. But you still got that flash, and you still got that all-in potential. He is going the grasp here, so he's going to probably grab that haunting. Guys, max range hook there. Dredgeline, very nicely done from Zai. He gets the depth charge immediately, hits level 6, and makes IU pay. Going forward, Titan with the Fate's Call. Very nicely done. Gets a knock up onto 2. IU's got 6, but he's not going to use it here. Gets a little bit of damage back. Use the flash, use the heal. Get the summoners out, and look for potentially a repeat gank. Well done by Titan and Curry at level 6.
Really nicely done. I mean, into Zai as well. Really expertly executed there. They use all their CC perfectly into a champion that is very, very slippery. IU maintains the ultimate, I think, is the biggest point here. Summoner's still up for Titan there, too. So, yeah, here we go. Big play from Zai.
Oh, that is huge. They're going to punish Titan here. Disrespectful. IU and Zai make it happen. A kill over to the Furia bot lane, and now they're up about 600 gold here. Axe, very nicely done.
It's like a magic trick, man. You just got to, chef's kiss, just perfect. IU maintains the ultimate there. Titan doesn't see the danger inherent, and Zai's going to capitalize completely, despite still being level 5, not having the ultimate for himself. And Titan's relying on that, by the way, saying, hey, there's no execute here. I could stay up. I could stay in lane. Nope, no safety for you, sir. Curry, mid lane.
Yeah, they found Stinner. He throws the ultimate right back. Now Sinnoh going in. Carioca, Dragon's Rage away. Uses the kick. Zai looking for a hook here. Max range almost gets Weiser.
Close.
Almost got either Weiser or Carioca. But Pain Gaming now looking for all 6 of the Kevins here. That's not nothing, Axe. That's going to feel really, really good.
No, it's not nothing at all, right? You got full objective control. Yeah, they get everything that spawns so far. The dragon going to be up in 2 minutes, and I'd really like to see the fight there for Furia. I think they can maybe make something happen if you keep that teleport up for Suno. Look at this. It had to be the perfect one for Zed. Look at the flash here as well.
Oh, my goodness.
That sun down. Just perfect. Perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, I confess, the first time I saw this, I saw the one flash, but for whatever reason, my brain didn't register that there were 2 flashes, and that was a predict there from Zai. He's played this champion, right? This is the kind of stuff that you get from Pyke OTPs, right? He knew, look, Titan, he knows he's caught. There's only one direction he can flash, but that's not a Pyke OTP specific thing, fine. But knowing that you can flash in the middle of that animation, holding that as well, right? And just playing very, very aggressively on this pick. He plays with a lot of confidence on this Pyke, man, and why not? He's got a gajillion games on it. He's, he and IU, like you said, and when we were talking about these teams before the game started, Axe, they're the X factor. They're building around this bottom lane. IU, he went when Loud was at MSI last year, went to Europe at age 17, got #1 challenger, rank 1 on EU West solo queue, and did it with like a disrespectful win rate, just something absolutely absurd. IU used to be a Katarina one trick. He did that to climb way back in the day, and then was told, look, you can't just play Cat OTP now. You've clearly got the mechanics. Just do something else because you have the chops to be a great player.
100%. It's always about an angle with this bot lane, right? All about not like traditional ideals of skill, but just finding the angle you can get to win at whatever cost. And they're so good at finding that angle with the champions, with the individual abilities, right? That pick on the Titan was born off of one summoner spell from Zai, the perfect flash, and also the perfect ultimate from IU there too. And they're just able to make it happen time and time again. Plays like this are what defines Furia's gameplay. Wiser, topside, full bore fight with, ooh, Shino. Holy cow, that's close. Karaoke gonna come in for the dive.
Karaoke in, very nicely done, easy as you like. There's the combo, the ult, Q, kick. Easy cheesy. They're going to get a lot of plates onto this, and the Kevins are going to help out quite a bit here. A lot of turret plating going down to Pain Gaming as well, but Stinner immediately on the opposite side, grabbing his team, their first dragon of the game, and it will be an Infernal Soul. For both these comps, Axe, they like to brawl. The mid games for both these teams going to be really, really strong. A lot of damage over the top of what was already some pretty explosive teams, explosive champions, I should say, drafted for both of these teams.
They really have. And what I like most about this is Furrier biting back, but they're feeling that weight, right? Those grubs hurt. They really hurt. When they get that dive out topside, they are able to get the entire turret as well. Oh, here we go. Big pick. This is a big pick.
Dinkato gets the big shuffle. Somehow he's going to survive. The Ignite ticking down. He's down to single-digit health, but he will live. And now Pain Gaming turned the fight around. That was the one, Axe. That was what should have been the kill. But Titan is going to pick up the kill. Max range hook from Curry. And another one for the veteran 80 carry. And this is where it starts to fall apart. A casa tá caindo. The house is falling apart for Furia.
Perfect play there from Curry. He hits everything he needed to hit, and Dunkato just squeezing out by the hair of his chinny chin. Maintains the flash too, by the way, so he had some wiggle room there as well. But yeah, just a little bit of health left for Dunkato as he's able to escape. I thought that was the perfect pick, but they're just not quite able to get it. Yeah, Emperor's Divide comes in, and they're able to get Ashino caught out. Maybe Dunkato, does he squeeze out of this, or he's still got flash up?
Yep, he still has the flash. Zai doing a nice job of juggling the abilities, flashing away here. Just wait, or no, doesn't flash away. I was going to say that would be really, really troll. Just wasting time. He knows he's dead to rights. No need to flash there. No TP either. No nothing to be able to get out of there. It's a little bit of an overextension from the Pain Gaming mid laner. Furia gets something back here, but Axe, Pain starting to grow their lead here. They've got all 6 Kevins. They've got a 3,000 gold lead. They got a ton off that top turret before the 14-minute mark. And now, just marching their way out of that top tier 2.
For this is where things start to get hairy for Furia. They have to understand. You got to look at the kill score. You got to look at the objectives. They don't get to see the golden game and say, look, we are down. We are down considerably. We can't walk into our jungle. We can't push up too far. We have to make sure we're playing the vision game and not give up any additional picks. Otherwise, we're going to make things worse for ourselves, and they're playing it nice and slow. Like to see that pushing up with the scanners, making sure that they're not stepping up too far. Shino has tracking on members of Pain. He's going to take the cross-map turret and try to even things out between the two teams. I don't want to see the fight over the Rift Herald. I just want to see a safe play from Furia while Pain Gaming capitalize on their games.
Yeah, you gotta hold it out just a little bit here, right? Yes, you can go for picks. You have incredible pick tools here, but you want to wait for, I think, a couple more spikes. And Gaming going to grab themselves a Herald as well. Karaoke, man, look, this has been quite the game from him on the Lee Sin. We haven't seen him on this pick in a long, long time. And this pick in general just hasn't been in the meta for a while. But he's playing this Lee Sin how you should, right? It's not quite the same as Viego. I don't think it's fair to put those two champions in the same bucket. But at this point, it was 0-0-1 for Drake Hero, right?
Yeah.
In that game. And again, it took a miracle play from Pilot. The stars aligning, the planets all aligning, really. Stinner looking to come up here. Zai gets the hook there onto Tuts. Tuts not able to do enough damage.
Ooh.
Wiser has to blow the ultimate, but holds onto the flash here. But closing out that point, Axe, Karaoke, 100% kill participation. He's been everywhere. Right place, right time. And he was only missed one neutral objective, right? This guy is such a veteran. This guy doesn't get a lot of the plaudits sometimes as our junglers like Croc, like Aegis, because he's not playing the carries. Karaoke has never been a carry player, but there's a reason that Karaoke has been on this roster for 5 years at this point. I think literally since before the pandemic, if I'm not making a mistake here. But since franchising, for sure, they've built around this dude because they know, look, we put superstars in every other lane. Karaoke is the rising tide that raises all these ships. He is as solid as can be, such a high floor facilitator jungle player. You can throw him on pretty much anything, and he will make those around him better.
He makes everybody look good. Zai looking for the play now.
Oh, wee! That's a fun interaction. Nice buffer there on the hook from Kuri. Yeah, you knew he wasn't going to get caught on that one, but he was lucky that he was in range of something to hook. But I like to think maybe if he didn't get the tower, he would have gotten that little bit of land, that little bit of structure there. But either way, yeah, Kuri not going to find the business end of anything, Axe. And indeed, look, it was sort of like you were saying, Furia, they're biding their time here, right? But
exactly.
Now you kind of want to see them maybe pull the trigger here because an item has been reached by everybody, right? Tutsi's got his big item. The Ludens. Stinner, Wiser, maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Zai, always on offense, always looking for those picks.
Yeah, can't quite find the hook there for himself, unfortunately, but they'll try and again here in just a little bit. Shino potentially troubled, and Kato looking for the shuffle now.
Whee! Gets the shuffle there onto Shino. Karaoke couldn't really follow up there. Gets the kick, like you said. Okay. Hang on a second here. Level 2 World Ender is huge. Kato can't complete the dive here. Shrima shuffle not available. The flash is, though. And now they're just going to drop the Herald and run away. But not if Skinner and Zai have anything to say about it. They are down quite a few levels, Axe, but is the health bar advantage enough? They'll take a flash out of Dinketo. That's good enough.
So close every time from Zai, man. Absolutely so close. Just at any point, he could get one of these big picks and make it happen. Second Dragon going down for Pain now. There won't be a contest. Zai may be over the wall. No, he's going to stay out and walk into members of Pain Gaming. And no, you got to look for the perfect play. It was the same thing with Liberty, right? It has to be right there. Right there, baby.
Wow. Well, that'll do it.
It'll go quick. It'll go real quick. You keep ult up there for Zai as well. Almost no resources used for this play. Just summoner spells from Zai, and they get Titan down. That's huge, by the way. It's another death down for Titan. Maybe they catch Wiser here, too. The Goon Squad 4x4.
Yeah, Wiser, Berji Jingle Nobili, what is he doing? I don't know what he was doing down there. Knew exactly where the rest of Furia was going. And not able to capitalize. I mean, just
no.
I was gonna kind of be a little bit of a negative Nancy and say, yeah, Furia, they got that kill, great, but the flash on the pike, yeah, it's it's not the biggest deal, but he kind of needs that to make some plays sometime, and there's no objective to fight over. But then they just got another one, and now all of a sudden, Axe, the gold lead's down to 1,000.
The pick potential's huge from this roster, and I gotta say, out of thin air, I used the term magic trick earlier. It's just like that. IU suddenly, look at the kill score, 3-0-1. He had nothing going for him 2 minutes ago. All of a sudden, perfect, locked in. He's got 2 items lined up now. He's away out in front of Titan, and he's got huge kill threat on every single member of Pain Gaming. No one is safe now from the pick potential that Zai has established from this bottom lane. This is where Furia close games, right? 4x4, this is where they close things out. This is where they clinch all of the victories that they've had so far this split, and even going into last split where they used to win back then too. You just give yourself this position in the game where you have all this potential to make these picks, and from then on, it's just controlling the map, just making sure every time Pain Gaming walk into a bush, it's always a risk for them, and that's where they're at now.
Well, you see there on the left, that's your total gold. 6 players are within 600 gold of each other, right? The game is at a really good equilibrium right now. Furia, they've got opportunities here. They've got to fight. Like you said, Axe, this is the moment where you've got to start to close it out. Because again, Pain, they're a better team fighting team than you. They've been playing with this roster a lot longer than you have because Furia has played with this roster for literally just a game and a half, and they're scaling. Their scaling is really, really strong here. They can team fight front. Actually, the front to back isn't quite as good, but they can just overwhelm you with damage. And if they keep stacking on these Infernal Dragons, they can just essentially beat you to death with numbers. They can beat you to death with their wallet. This is what I want to see, though, from Furia, right? Setting up here, trying to get a little cheeky here. They don't have Pyke with them, but they have some decent pick potential. They've got a lot of good CC with Tuts and Stinner, but I want to see them on the front foot, right? They've got to make sure that they are on the front foot with their objective setups and making Pain pay little by little, because in a straight-up 5v5, I think I still favor Pain. Stinner not going to get the ultimate. Dinkedo over with the soldiers. Doesn't have flash, but able to get out of dodge.
Pick doesn't quite go off there. They don't have Zai with them to really close things out. They do force Dinkedo back, and they do force him out of that position in the lane. They could potentially look again, but they do blow Sejuani ult to do so. And yeah, both sides positioning around this top side of the map, looking for Baron now as their post 20 minutes. And Zai doesn't really have too much of an angle. It's hard with Azir, right? That's a difficult gank to pull off. He's got a lot of mobility, or perhaps more correctly, enough mobility to, oh man.
Oh my goodness. When the ignite is up immediately, Tay goes in!
Just the end of it. Holy cow. I could never hit that.
No, that was phenomenal. I didn't think he was in range of that. Absolutely beautiful. Dinkedo gonna lock in the Frozen Heart here. And Zai looking for picks and getting them. Fantastic stuff. But now, again, it's what do you do from here? And Pain Gaming and Karaoke saying, look, we can't lose control of this Baron, right? We can't lose control of these important spots on the map here. Weiser, he's got TP, pushing out that long lane. They've got the rest of the Furia members accounted for, so they're not going to allow them to take anything. And it's unfortunate because Furia, they got that pick. They weren't able to turn it into vision, right? They weren't able to turn it into anything on the bottom side of the map. That pick was fine, but it's unfortunate that it was on that side of the map. They couldn't get anything going here, and Pain going to have first purchase onto this dragon. Dinkedo will be back with more than enough time to make something happen.
For the cosmic scales are weighing Zai's Pyke against IU's Smolder right now, and I think everyone is finding out which side of that scale is heavier right now. The scales are very much tipping in a certain direction. Looking again, it has to be just a perfect pick, but he's done it like 4 times now. Ooh, it's close, man. It's always going to be close.
Karaoke was baiting that one out. He went in and hopped right back out, but that hook is on like a 3-second cooldown, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You're always in danger. Whenever you step into the fog of war, whenever you step into a bush, always in danger. Look at them taking the vision now. Boom, darkness. Complete darkness for Pain Gaming. You can't get onto this objective whatsoever. Yeah, they toggle the vision even here for me. Nightmare position for Pain to be in. They're trying to claw back some vision control. They're going to start up the dragon.
Furia starting it up here. Stinner tanking up that Infernal Dragon just a little bit. Zai on the flank here, looking for something else, but he's going to be spotted. I think, actually, I don't know if that word's going to catch him. But either way, the hooks are coming out here. Zai looking for a pick here. Pain going to get to the dragon. Karaoke is low. He has to get out of dodge. Not able to do any sort of big play here, and he's just going to get shut down. Zeno able to shut him down. Zay going forward, gets the hook there onto Curry, and he's going to be toast. Just kidding. He gets gobbled up by Titan. Very good ultimate there from the AD carry. The Fate's Call will bail him out. Curry knows it's a one-way trip, but somehow survives. Dinkedo and Titan can't get in close enough, though. They've got the danger of Shino. It's just too much. Spinning in with the flash, with the Q. Gets enough damage to get Pain Gaming out of the fight here. Do they have more? Zai certainly looking for it. Goes in with the Umbral Dive.
He's on
looking
the hunt
for a hook. Corey gets the shield down. It's going to save him from IU's W.
That's really close. Pain Gaming, they get away with the dragon. They barely get away with their lives, most of them. This mid lane turret going to stay up as well, but you can see the angle for Furia. It's so close between these two teams. It is all about the picks, all about Zai, what he's able to do with that perfect hook for him. And the follow-up, of course, from Furia was near perfect there. IU almost able to get Weiser in with the ultimate. We might not get a replay here for this one because not enough happened, but yeah, all of the pick tools from Pain go wide. A lot of them connect from Furia, but just not. Ooh, we go. Big hook in his eye.
Yeah, Glacial Prison actually landed there onto Karaoke. He can't do anything, and Curry's just going to be the sacrificial lamb there. He dies so the rest of Pain can live. You got to kill there. That's an extra body that's not going to be available, but is the support going down enough? Zai's going to make sure it's one more. Dinketo gets the hook there onto Shino. He pops the World Ender, killing spree for Zai, but Shino does go down. Again, one more trade back and forth. If that W lands on a Titan, you could bet your top, bottom, and middle dollars that IU was going to go in there. Tut's able to take down the tower. That's enough prio. Furia got their eyes set on the Baron. Do they actually start it, or does Zai just want to play for more picks?
Zai's still got that reset available. We'll see it drop here over the next few seconds, but for my money, it's going to be up again quick. Here's that replay. This was the relationship we mentioned between the Nautilus and the Pike. You could hook the Pike. It's going to help your team, but the reality is he's got a lot more damage than you, and being next to him isn't always the best thing. Curry finds out the hard way, hooks onto Zai's Pike, doesn't get it. Look at this hook onto Dinketo. The shuffle is good. Shino gets misplaced, and they trade solo laners. But for my money, I'll take Dinketo down over Shino any day of the week.
Yeah, and with this build, right? I mean, you're more about the, just survivability. You're more about getting that big ult and being able to survive afterwards. You survived through the laning phase, but right now, 0-3-3, right? Dinketo, he's sacrificing a lot of damage, but to be fair, when you've got Titan, when you've got Weiser, you're still dealing a good amount of magic damage. It's still tough to itemize against, right? This is more just taking off some of the highs off the Azir and bringing up some of the low ends, because often you see Zai almost got that pick there onto Karaoke. The Sonic Wave does land here. Now he's going to take that magical journey there. Titan and Corey rocking up to the Baron here. Furia still have control of the river. Dinketo pushing out that top lane. Shino doing the same thing on the bottom lane. They both got, or excuse me, just Shino has the TP. Dinketo does not. He's a lot closer to that fight. Weiser might meet him in the river. Dragon not going to be up for another minute, 40 seconds. Baron will be where the battle lines are drawn, Axeman.
Again, it's the vision control from Zai, not just the pick potential that's winning in the game right now. It is absolute darkness if you're paying gaming. Just that control ward revealing everything, and you'll see it go dark here in a second. And boom, just like that, total mystery. What's going on in the Baron pit? No idea, but if we want to find out, we got to walk through what we know is Zai waiting in the wings. Curry, there's just no way out, man.
Furia doing an excellent job of playing for these picks, and Curry's gotten punished a couple times, and Weiser had to use his ultimate. And now, just like that, Furia playing this very well. The Glacial Prison goes wide, but Karaoke is heading for the hills. He's got his tail tucked between his legs here. Just like that, Furia, by doing nothing, they have gotten a couple of really valuable ultimates out of Pain. The Fate's Sealed, the Fate's Call as well. Fate's Sealed, Fate's Call. That's really fun. The Kalista ult and the Weiser ult. Those are really big.
No, they're huge. I mean, Curry's not getting that safety net again, right? He's going to have to face check these bushes once again. In terms of map control, in terms of vision control, they're back to square one. They're always going to be pushing into darkness. Furia are going to make sure of that. They're always going to have to get onto an objective that you just cannot see. It is Dragon Soul now for Pain Gaming. They got some vision control established early on, but they have to keep it up. If they lose their jungler, it's not a question of vision control. They won't be able to get Karaoke down just yet, but some nice damage from Zai, who, again, even in broad daylight, is an absolute nightmare for Pain Gaming.
No, he really is. And just the threat of the Pike
the
by itself, man. Yeah, the threat of the Pike is massive, right? It was Sun Tzu, Art of War, right? Sometimes the it's not an invasion that is the most powerful thing, but the threat of an invasion, the threat of an attack, and that is certainly what Zai is applying here. TP coming in. He's able to get the hook onto Dinketo. He's not able to EQ out quick enough. The W goes down. Shino, if he can get something done, he gets the flash out of Dinketo, forcing again just tons of resources out of Pain Gaming. There's not a fight that they can take right now that's on equal footing. It is making this so much harder for the top guys on our table right now.
It really is, and Pain Gaming are making it easy. They're doing a really good job of not making it easy for them. But once again, what an unwinnable situation for them to be in, having to always push into darkness, having to get onto these objectives now. That was their win condition going into this game, and now it's so hard.
Oh, my goodness. Tuts.
Holy cow.
Tuts is just raining hell from distance. That's such a big part of what this champion brings. It's incredible CC, yes, but the range at which you can dispense it, on top of doing a ton of damage, that horizon focus too. That is a gorgeous itemization choice there by Tuts. And looks like, now it was not 2 LDRs, as the Dragon, goes down. Pain happy to sack that one. They did their homework early. You see there, Axe. This was kind of death by 1,000 cuts here, right? There hasn't been one big team fight that Furia has won. It was, Pain's got a 3K lead. Now they've got a 1,500 gold lead. Now it's tied. And then Zai gets one pick. Zai gets one flash blown. Curry gets caught once. And they take little by little. They have gotten themselves a 1,000 gold lead here.
I love the precog dodge from Tuts. I do that in games all the time. You just walk up to a bush and you're like, I'll just dodge. Why not, right? Oh, big hook onto Decado. Every time, dude. Every time it happens. I'm like, holy cow. And that's what it is, right? It's Pain Gaming. I think if they got a big team fight, 5v5, I think Pain Gaming could actually do really well. I mean, the shuffle could be big. We've been seeing a lot of defensive ultimates from Titan. If they had an aggressive one, I think it'd be huge. Wiser ult, we haven't really seen in these big team fights. If these tools are allowed to be used by Pain Gaming, I think they could use them to great effect. Really, it's on the two big academy, the top side, to use big team fights. Everybody else is looking for these picks, right? But Furrier doing such a good job of making it about picks, not making it about team fights, about making it having to push into the darkness, having to risk your individual lives to make plays. And I want to say about that previous dragon, I think that might have been the most free dragon. It'll quietly go down in history as the most free dragon any team in CBLOL has ever gotten in CBLOL history. It was just impossible. No way Pain could have ever kind of even gotten onto that objective. It was so well set up by Furia, and that's what this team has always been capable of. Look at them, having a death ball through the jungle like this. You can't reset safely.
Curry going in there on the Tuts, has to flash away. The Glacial Prison goes in onto him. Wiser over the top. Pain on the move here. And the Decado with the ultimate, with the Shuriba Shuffle, gets a ton of damage down. Titan free firing. He's up by the front line. He's got to be careful, though. Doing a ton of damage. Can he get the rend off? Double kill for Zai! Into the back line. He's not done just yet. Wiser finally pops the Furia support. Titan over the wall with the flash. He used all his resources. Now time to go forward. Wiser can't buy enough time. Shut down for IU. Titan almost pulled a rabbit out of a hat, but it's not enough. Furia wipe Pain off the map. An ace for the Furia kids, and they've got Barrett on their mind.
I don't even know if they could really take this one. Sinner and IU are both.
It's going to be really difficult.
It's going to be really hard. Yeah, IU's going to heal up a little bit. He'll be able to deal some consistent damage with the Sejuani. That's so close. Oh, okay. They'll be fine. We're looking for maybe Sinner to walk up and get like a smite action here. Oh boy, I hope they don't throw it over this one.
Come on. Oh,
yeah, they got it. Okay, they got it. We're good. Okay, they'll take the reset now. An incredible fight from Furry, giving their flowers. Here's the replay. Good engage from Curry. Wiser gets an excellent ult off in this one. 3-man, and it looked like it was doomed for Furry, but Zai, he manages to escape. And look at it in the backside. Curry, Wiser, Kato, they're going to line up. You're standing too close to each other, fellas. You're going to get double killed by the Pike. Pike gets picked up on the back end, a little bit too far forward, but Shino, I mean, the guy comes out of Academy, and he's able to clean up these fights against top players like it's nothing. IU helping him out there with Wiser, but look at him land these abilities in Titan. He gets a free dodge with every auto attack, and Zeno's hit him like it's absolutely no effort at all. Incredible game from Furia this fall.
Simply incredible. Yeah, Trajan said it in the chat. Look, they put in more rookies. It's a 5 Brazilian roster with the young kids, and the magic is back. They're playing with the pressure off, right? I mean, especially these academy kids. Like, they got nothing to lose, right? And that because you could think about it one of two ways. One is, okay, these rookies get put in here from academy. Shino and Stinner, they're saying, great, we are replacing 2 Koreans, right? They cut a lot of dead weight money, right? You're saying, look, Furia's willing to eat the money that we paid to get 2 Koreans in here, and they're replacing them with us. Me and, Jack here, right? Just 2 boys coming in. We've got to save the season here for Furia. Or the attitude is, look, we all speak the same language. We're playing with kind of nothing to lose here. Just start synergizing for next split. Zai is an absolute menace Titan. Able to dodge away here, though. And man,
I think that really illustrates just how incredible it is what Furia have been able to do. It's Callista, right? They're playing this pick potential game with a champion that has free dodges on every single auto attack, and they're getting the picks down every single time. That is miraculous. It's just so incredible that they're able to do this, to play this way. But yeah, you had to imagine there was a conversation before they let the Korean side of the organization go just this last week. You got to go to your academy players and say, look, we're willing to take a risk on you. Will you show up? Can you do this? And for Shino and Standard to say, yes, put us in. We got it. Destroy a mirror. We could do it where they can't. And then to actually deliver is so incredible.
It's been absolutely awesome to watch. And again, it goes back to what we've been saying. If you're not checking out CBLOL Academy, please do. We've got English co-stream going pretty much every single week. RMC is hosting it on his Twitch channel. I've been in a couple of those. They've been a ton of fun to watch. You seeing it here in the CBLOL. Barefruit Stitter going to get caught out here. Here comes the TP flank from Shino. Zai is a slippery little bugger. Now they just turn their attention away from him completely. It's all falling apart. It's disconnected. One gets picked. And Furia, why'd you have to undermine my point like that? I was gassing you up.
They still got Ayu and Zai. They still got Ayu, Zai, and Shino here. They might not get the dragon.
Woo!
But they'll get something. Curry goes down, and now Dunkato's thinking, oh, man, how am I going to make my way out of this one? I know there's an Aatrox waiting in the wings behind us. Zai could be in any bush.
Yeah,
Which bush do I pick the back in, right?
Yeah, you do have the numbers advantage kind of no matter where you go. Karaoke and Titan are on the chase here. Pain Gaming still 5,000 gold back, but they got a huge pick and rode it all the way to an Infernal Soul. Absolutely massive. That's a big way back in here. And again, remember, they still got the 6 Void Grubs, and that Baron power play from Furia has really not resulted in as much. No, actually, I take that back. They got bottom top tier 2. The mid tier 2 is hanging on by a thread here. So they actually did get a decent amount off that. Zai, 6 kills here on this Pyke. He's playing this about as well as you could hope for. But again, it's just you'd like to think that a veteran team like Pain is going to be a little more wise to the angles that Zai can take. But Zai's playing these fights very patiently, right? One thing I wanted to point out in that last fight, or not that last fight, excuse me, the one that went really, really well, kind of in that north quadrant of the jungle, right? The red side, top side of the jungle, was that they knew that Zai was lurking. But then when the focus kind of shifted away from him, it felt like Zai said, okay, now I'm going to go in, where they kind of forgot about me. Like you said, Dinketo and Titan and Weiser, they lined up with a combined like 1,000 health. And Zai said, okay, you guys are all focused on getting this kill on Ayu, right? Ayu flash backwards, very good one from him. Titan going forward, I'm going to dunk on you then, right? He played these fights very, very patiently on the Pyke. He's not looking for the big time plays at every single opportunity. He's playing a very patient game on his one trick. You can see that he knows this champion backwards and forwards.
100%. It illustrates how the comp works as well, right? I mean, Zai's important at the top of fights and at the end of them for the engages and then for the executes. But in the middle, it's got to be Tuts. It's got to be Ayu, right? It's got to come from these guys that don't have as many resources as Zai does. If you're Tuts and you're getting engaged on and you're 037, you don't have anything, right? You were the important middle piece of the composition, and you just don't exist anymore. And now it's on Zai and Shino to try and clean things up, and it just doesn't work at that point. But the nice part is that Tuts can die a lot this game and still be very useful to the rest of the composition. But I will say a lot of the gold lead you see on your screen at the top side is like 6,000 gold or something like that. A lot of that gold here, 4x4, is getting spent by Zion Control Wards. The vision score right now, we don't talk about vision score very often. 240.
Whoa!
240 right now.
Yeah, and with that Umbral Glaive, it's just so easy, right?
It's
you can just
so
pop
easy,
the wards
man.
with one attack and then drop them right. I think he's got Zombie Ward as well, right? So no, wow, that is stunning. Yeah, look, vision scores. It's not fake. It's very real, but there's a reason we don't talk about it that much. But I think that's good to point that out, right? Like you said. I mean, and especially when you consider that, like, right down the middle, I love this graphic where you can see basically where the gold is divided up, right? Who in what matchup has the brunt of the gold. 3,000 support gold gap. That is so much.
Yeah, and it's getting spent on control wards, right? Like, he doesn't have that many more items physically than Curry does. I think he's got like a 1-item lead or something like that. So it literally is just going to the control ward budget.
Yeah, if that.
And the vision control budget here is huge for Furia. Kind of like, please help me balance my budget. I spent 6,000 of our gold on control wards type deal. I don't know where I'm going wrong, but they will work with that vision control. Stinner maybe caught out.
Who has to flash away. Ult's back immediately onto Curry. He's going to tank it and walk away. So big ultimate not available there. The Glacial Prison is down for Stinner. He's had to do kind of the dirty work, right? He's had to be a bit of a lunch pail guy on this Sejuani and do the non-glamorous stuff. Take all the hits, throw out the ultimates, but that's on a pretty short cooldown. If he can hit level 16 as well, that'll help. Maybe a little bit. Dinketo gets hooked there. Zai is a menace. Get a big Shuriva shuffle there from Dinketo. And Titan is just going to mop up the rest of them. Weiser gets one. Titan gets another. It's a 4v3. Dinketo is fine to die for that. He got a big ultimate on the back of it and turned something into nothing.
Now, it is 3v4, but it's the good 3, right?
Yeah.
Furia. Oh, but good from Curry. Look, it's going to go into the wall there for Curry, unfortunately. But not out of the woods yet if you're Pain. You have a little bit of vision control. You have a little bit of a zone control here, too, which is something you don't traditionally have. But now it's time for Ayu to work his magic. 507. Big Kai'Sa. Not going to find an angle on the Baron here, but could potentially work their way in. And now they'll just walk out as 4, and they'll be just fine. But, yeah, huge shuffle there from Dinketo. Not so easy to pick the Azir as it has been. In the meantime, an inhib turret goes down on the opposite side of the map. So, you know, Pain Gaming, they catch up a little bit. Still 3K down. Still making the big objective plays, but it's never out of the woods for them, right? Never truly safe. some big health bars, I will say, for Pain. That's working against Furia.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, and then the damage is going to start to kind of bottom out just a. Yeah, well, I mean, you still got the Kaisa there, right? She scales pretty well. Going with a bit of a hybrid build here, right? Just very much indexing up the middle here for IU. Just kidding. Here comes the death cap. This is a magic damage build now, kids. The magic damage is going to be huge here. And a lot of AP coming in here. And Pyke, really, he's the only. I mean, Pyke and the Aatrox are the big physical damage dealers. You see all the defensive stats have come in here, right? I mean, Weiser, he's got himself a shield bow, 2 wits ends. This Tank Azir build, all of a sudden, I'd say what you want about it, but it's going to have a better time here, right? It's not like Painter looking for damage. Oh my goodness, Shido, he almost made the play of the game right there. And now with the Fates call, Titan again having to use that defensively. You talked about that, Axe. There are a lot of high impact ultimates for Pain, but a lot of them have been used defensively this game.
It's an important piece here for Furia so far. Something I'll mention, we're getting close potentially to the end of this game. I got to tell you, 4x4, if this game ends with IU on a pentakill, it would be the perfect game. Zai with the ult over the wall.
Oh my goodness, Curry goes down. This has not been his game, really. And now, with the numbers advantage, Furia turned their attention to the Elder Dragon. Titan, he's looking. He's got a lot of damage down on it. Karaoke gets locked up. Karaoke almost goes down there. The Mob now Morty saves him and almost damaged Tuts. Almost gets him from so downtown. Close. But now it's a 5v3 here. Zai, his presence is immense. Karaoke has a sliver of HP. Goes in the one-way trip. Karaoke makes the hero play when it counts. And now Pain Gaming have to turn on to Furia. And they just dissipate. They fall apart. Tuts gets 1, but that's all he gets. The Elder, the big fight, the 4-kill fight for Pain. They get it all.
Right at the critical moment, Zai's looking for that kill onto Karaoke. And Karaoke just he finds Ayu as well. No! Down goes Furia. No hope of getting back in. But yeah, maybe we'll see the replay. We might just see the end of the game. But Zai was looking for that kill onto Karaoke. Karaoke dashes forward. He makes the big hero play, gets the smite down to the Elder, and turns the fight back on its head. This will be the end for Furia. Pain Gaming push in for the end of the game. No respawns in sight.
Absolutely brutal. What a way for this game to end. Axe, Furia, they had it all. They were so close. They got the picks. Karaoke was forced out of the fight. But Karaoke, that man right there, that's who we have to talk about. Because he, look, saved his life. And then he flashed away, blew everything, right? No flash. He didn't have his ultimate either. He went in there on what should have been a one-way journey into that dragon pit, got the last second smite, and then turned an odd number fight into a win for Pain Gaming. My goodness. What a game from Furia. But that last play right there, that is Sukupuru de Pain Gaming. If you are a Pain Gaming fan, that's what you know you have. You've got big-time players that make big-time plays.
Yeah, absolutely do. And it was the veterancy at the end, right? How many of us would balk on that play, right? I think I balk every single time. I'm too low health. I'm backing out. Sorry, guys, we lost the Elder. Maybe next fight, we could turn it around. We could get something going.
Yep.
Nah, man. Karaoke's back in. He's right back in. He gets that smite down the Elder. Not only that, he survives right through to the end of the game. Hunts down IU on the back end. Gets that kill on Zai there in the base there, too. Really, really solid stuff. Nerves of steel. And I got to tell you, this is part of the reason I think why you always see me bet the under here on so many of these teams. It's fun watching them lose, too. It's fun watching the team just come through with the veterancy, come in over top and be like, nah, you know what? This is why. This is why we're at the top of the table. And such a close game. No one can say Furia was ever out of that game.
No, not at all. It was a very impressive showing by them. Again, a very impressive showing by Zai on the pocket pick Pyke. The 100% record is broken. He's now 2-1 on that champion, unfortunately. And Furia, they slide a little further down the table, and they are now down to just 3-9. So they've got a lot of ground to make up, getting those standings on the board for you. Yeah, look, you're 3 games out of 6th with, You got 6 games left. So it's not impossible for Furia, but they would more or less have to win out. It's certainly possible that an 8-10 team this split makes it into playoffs, right? Because right now, between 4th and 8th, you've got only a 2-game gap, Axe, man.
Certainly, a lot of the easier matchups are already behind you, too. If you're Furia, Liberty was yesterday, I believe. Might have been one of the easier ones that they would have. And not too many good matchups throughout the rest of the split either. This might be curtains for Furia, but especially if we talk about the performance from these academy players showing up.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Excellent. Excellent stuff. Better than anybody could possibly hope from those players, and they made it happen. Seemingly effortlessly. I think you could count down the mistakes they made on one hand.
Yeah, Shino especially, I was very, very impressed with. He looked awesome. Stinner had a couple of tough spots there, got caught a couple of times. But look, again, this is his second game in the CBLOL, and when you're on Sejuani duty, sometimes the mistakes get amplified a little bit because you're the one that has to go forward. And even though I believe that the synergy is better on this roster, even though they've been playing with just 2 games, there's still some synergy to be built there, right? But now they all speak the same language. I can't imagine that you boot someone like Destroy and like Mir, who have decent pedigree, certainly more pedigree than, with all due respect to Stinner and Shino. No one would argue that Stinner and Shino came in here with more pedigree and more established success beforehand, right? Than Destroy and Mir. But they said, no, look, something wasn't working here behind the scenes. Let's make it happen this split and build for next split. Let's make that change and invest in the future. Maybe some other teams towards the bottom of the table should do that, but that's neither here nor there. That is not my decision to make. Axeman, any final thoughts on today, my friend? Always a pleasure with you. We got some 2 absolute banger games here before we let the good people go on with their Sundays.
We almost got the gauntlet, folks. We didn't get the Triple Crown, but I'm still proud of Fluxu, still proud of Liberty, and of course, Furry put up a hell of a game today. This is a different split than the ones you've been seeing. I've already mentioned it earlier. It's a legendary split so far in terms of the Academy talent coming up into the CBLOL. This is the best league I have ever seen come from Brazil. You have to keep watching it. Next week, we'll see you then.
All right, for Axeman, for our producer, Rose, for you guys in the audience, thank you so much for being here, whether you're for the first time or the 1,000th time. We are grateful that you are joining us for, like Axeman said, one of the best iterations of the best league in the world that we have seen here. The rookies making it happen, the top team still showing why they're legit, upsets all over the place, storylines abounding, and a very, very tight table. For all those people I've mentioned, I've been 4x4. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened sky.